Okay, so we're going to start talking about poetry and elements of poetry. In this short little video, we're going to talk about all the different parts of poetry, the things that make poetry, and the different parts that you're familiar with. Not all poems rhyme. There are different things in poetry besides rhyming words. So we're going to jump right into that. So a poem is a collection of words written to inspire ideas, imagination, or emotion. The most popular types of poems that you're familiar with are songs that you maybe sing along with in the car, or even nursery rhymes. Here's one called I Wonder. I wonder how the world would be if I could see the way you see. Would I love it less or hate it more? Could I go back to the way I was before? So, this poem is actually supposed to have us think about other people. Like, if I was to walk a mile in their shoes, what would it be like from their perspective? So, this poem is definitely thought provoking. A theme of a poem is the lesson or the message about life. It has to do with what is the author trying to say to me? Sometimes the theme is very obvious. Sometimes you have to infer it, read between the lines, make a guess based on the text clues and what you know in your schema. So, this poem, My People, shows us all kinds of different examples and adjectives of a certain type of theme. And so, my people, you are my people. You know me, you see me, you hear me, you surround me. You don't laugh at me, you don't gossip about me, you don't leave me, you don't judge me. You always listen, you always wait, you always trust, you always stay. You are my people. So the possible themes, and it could be even more than these, are acceptance, friendship, tolerance. Tolerance is when you're talking about accepting people and their differences. So you're always going to look for the message of the poem. Mood is very powerful in poetry. The types of words, whether positive or negative, that are used definitely connect with the reader and their emotions, their feelings, what they have in their schema. So, mood is the feeling the poet is trying to convey. The forest. Quietly, the forest calls for me to come inside. But as the light is fading fast, I wish instead to hide. Who knows what danger lurks about? Creepy things to make me shout? No, no, I will not go. I will not go inside. I think instead that I would rather find a place to hide. So, automatically, besides looking at this image, we can see that the forest poem, just looking at the words and reading them, definitely has a very spooky, frightening, creepy, dangerous feeling. It's more like a Halloween poem. And we know that by looking at the types of words the author uses. And in this instance, the author uses more negative words than positive. So, for example, fading, hide, danger, lurks, creepy, shout, no, not, hide. So, those are all negative words telling us that the mood right here is not going to be sunshiny and happy, but something that's a little frightening. Rhythm, this is the thing that you're most familiar with. Rhythm is the beat and sound and feel of a poem. Just like all of the music that you listen to, if you listen to the words, some of them may rhyme. Um, Especially the way that the beat goes along with the music, it definitely helps you to roll those lyrics or the poem off your tongue a lot easier, and it also makes you a better reader. It helps you to flow as you're reading, your fluency. You don't sound so much like a robot because you get into the rhythm of the beat of the words. So, a little seed for me to sow, a little earth to make it grow, a little hole, a little pat, a little wish, and that is that. A little sun and a little shower, and a little while, a little flower. So, the length of the line plus the syllables in each line definitely help with the rhythm. A line is simply a single row of words, just like a line that we write on a piece of paper, or a line that we're talking about as far as, reading in a book. So this is a very short poem. There's only 4 lines. I eat peas with honey. I've done it all my life. It makes the peas taste funny, but it keeps them on the knife. A meter has to do with the number of syllables that are accented in a line. It is written in a repeated pattern. So go back to kindergarten and first grade in your mind when you learned how to read and you counted out syllables. So basketball. And you said, oh, basketball has 3 syllables because I'm able to accent those 3 parts of the word. That's what we're talking about for each line of a poem. So for Hickory Dickory Dock, hickory dickory dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. So it's repeated. The first and last syllables, accented syllables, are repeated. The third and fourth accented lines are repeated as well. So I want you to pause this and try and clap that out. Rhyme describes the same ending sounds. Now, not all poems rhyme. There are free verse poems that don't rhyme. But in this instance, these are like couplet rhymes right here, like a couple, 2 things. These, every 2 lines rhyme. So as I was going up the stair, I met a man that wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. Oh, how I wish he'd go away. So stair and there rhyme, today and away rhyme. A stanza is a group of lines in a poem, just like we're reading in a book, fiction or nonfiction, or in an article. We're looking for chunks of main ideas or chunks of same topic. And those are called paragraphs in a book or an article. But in a poem, they're called stanzas. So this is called a happy child. Each stanza is a particular part of this child's life that make their life happy. My house is red, a little house, a happy child am I. I laugh and play the whole day long, I hardly ever cry. I have a tree, a green, green tree, to shade me from the sun, and under it I often sit when all my play is done. So just like a paragraph has a main idea or a main focus, each one of the stanzas do. The first stanza talks all about the things in the red house that make the child happy and where they play. The second stanza still talking about a child being happy, but particularly about a tree that they go sit under. Lastly, you need to know that anybody in the world can be a poet. You are a poet. Your parents are poets. And you don't have to write a serious poem. You can write a silly poem. So I want you to think about that this week as we read a variety of different types of poetry.